in the left-wing and right-wing media. It's disgusting. A journalist or someone that is reporting the news on the radio is supposed to let people decide for themselves what the ramifications of the news of that particular day and time is. Unfortunately, nowadays, that doesn't seem to be important. Well, I got news for you. It's important on my show. A little bit later in my show, I'm going to talk about who I think the winners and who the losers are of this entire thing. And I'm also going to ask anybody that also, maybe I'm forgetting something or omitting something or whatever, but we will definitely open the lines very, very shortly. I'm going to go to a quick commercial. When we come back, I'm going to check those markets because the markets have been quite surprising, and I want to see what's going on. Of course, yesterday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was way up, and we're going to check into those markets. I'll be right back after a quick commercial. Don't just invest. Plan to save taxes and grow wealth management at once. Integrated Wealth Management gives you a powerful synergistic way to create and preserve wealth. That's the kind of wealth management I bring to business owners, professionals, and their families. My investment management is tax sensitive, from portfolio construction to mentoring to fund manager selection. Retirement planning and estate planning can help you strategize to protect and keep more of what you earn. Call Matthew Baker, Investment Advisor Representative, at 219-838-6176 for your free financial review. Securities and advisory services offered through Woodbury Financial Services Incorporated, member of FINRA, SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Matthew Baker, Inc. and Woodbury Financial Services are not affiliated entities. Have a 401k to roll over? Are you investing in your future? With financial success as your final destination, let us help you develop your financial strategy. Whether you're changing jobs or retiring, it's important that you make the right decision regarding your 401k. Call Matthew Baker today at 219-838-6176 to set up a free consultation. Matthew Baker Incorporated is located at 2645 Highway Avenue in downtown Highland. Call 219-838-6176 today. Securities offered through Woodbury Financial Services, member FINRA, SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Matthew Baker Incorporated and Woodbury Financial Services are not affiliated entities. Have any estate planning needs? Need a will? A trust? Questions about revocable or irrevocable trusts? Land trust? Then call the law offices of Joseph Haddad. Attorney Joseph Haddad has been practicing law since 1986. He is located at 2646 Highway Avenue in beautiful downtown Highland. Call Attorney Haddad's office at 219-923-3000 to set up your free initial consultation to discuss your estate planning needs today. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Matthew Baker, host of Financial Perspectives. If this is the first time you're tuning into my show, I'm here the second and fourth Thursday of every month at 9:05. I'm also President and Chief Executive Officer of Matthew Baker Incorporated. We're located at 2645 Highway Avenue in beautiful downtown Highland. And we ask you to follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Also, visit us online, www.matthewbakerinc.com. And also, if you'd like to chime in on the show or something that you'd like me to cover financially, shoot me out an email. It's matthewbaker@matthewbakerinc.com. Well, I will tell you the entire thing was a complete surprise from A to Z. First of all, I want to give my props to the President of the United States for being gracious. Also, Hillary Clinton for being gracious. And also for Donald Trump for being gracious. I think now is the time that we need to come together as a country and start listening. The problem is we still have a bunch of young people whose only form of communication seems to be social media with very little listening. Unfortunately, we have reports from around the country with young people protesting the election. And the time to protest is before the election. I mean, we as a people have voted and have voted for Mr. Trump, good, bad, or whatever. So what's going on? Who do you think the winners and losers are of this? I'm going to take a venture of some of the winners and then some of the losers. And, of course, hey, guys, if I'm missing something or omitting something, it's not on purpose, give me a call, 219-845-1100. One of the things that I noticed as far as the winners, and I think one of the things when we look back at this election, you could also look back at a previous Financial Perspective show. Do Do you remember when I had the folks over at Carrier and the CEO saying, sorry, guys, we moved your jobs away. You're going to be unemployed. I'll tell you what, I think the nation was outraged, and I think that had a lot to do with a relatively unknown Donald Trump. Of course, he was on TV and all that stuff, but a political unknown for sure. Give him credit for being very, very smart and hitting the middle class. And that who's what I would say would be one of the first winners of Donald Trump being president is the middle class union workers. I guess I should say I'm a little biased towards them. I come from a union family. I was a union worker. And many of, the union people like law enforcement and Border Patrol people and first responders and civil service, all union people. And don't forget the steel workers. I think the steel workers are going to be a winner on this. And also, I think small business. One of the big surprises as to why all of a sudden the stock market started turning around was the realization by, for example, the restaurant industry, their stock started to turn around. And they're doing quite well because they're not saddled with the Obamacare issue. Also, I think that one of the winners in the end is going to be healthcare. Education, I don't think that the No Child Left Behind, I never was for that. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. It makes absolutely zero sense to me. Not everybody should be going to college. And if someone's left behind or someone that is not proficient in being a good student, take a trade. And by the way, I think one of the winners of the election is people that work in the trades. Also, I think the United States veterans are great winners in this. I think there's actually going to be some things done for our veterans. And by the way, speaking of veterans, tomorrow is Veterans Day. Matthew Baker Incorporated will be closed in honor of Veterans Day. Also, I think the United States military and military families are also going to be winners here. I think taxpayers are going to be winners. I think that we're going to see less taxation. The national debt is going to be a winner here, folks. And of course, longtime listeners to the show, they know where I stand on that. You know what? Don't incur debt you can't pay, both on a personal level and also on a personal level and a national level as well. I think the Republicans in general there's going to be winners and losers with them. I think the old guard Republicans are going to be out, at least some of them. And I think you're going to see a lot of different initiatives from the Republican Party. We can only hope. Law enforcement, Border Patrol are all winners. Who are the losers? Well, the president is a loser. I think Hillary Clinton obviously lost the election. I think Obamacare is going to be a loser in this as the results of this presidential election. I think government regulation is going to be a loser. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the government regulations, like the Department of Labor regulation and excessive government, that if I was a government regulator, I'd be a little worried because I think that there's going to be much less government regulations. I think foreign exporters are going to be a big loser in this. And don't own any stock in Chinese steel, folks. I think they're going to be a big loser. I think the president of Mexico is going to be a loser in this. Welfare recipients, I don't know if I would call them a loser, but I think that they're going to have more limits on what the government is going to give them. I am very proud to say, but I think ISIS is going to be a loser in this. I think that our country is already fighting these people, and I think there's going to be renewed vigor to get these killers off the face of the map. Students wanting free education, I think they're going to also be a loser, as well as bureaucracies. The lines are now open, 219-845-1100. If you feel I forgot something, please let me know. I'm going to go to a quick commercial. When we get back, we're going to check those markets. Have any estate planning needs? Need a will, a trust? Questions about revocable or irrevocable trusts? Land trust? Then call the law offices of Joseph Haddad. Attorney Joseph Haddad has been practicing law since 1986. He is located at 2646 Highway Avenue in beautiful downtown Highland. Call Attorney Haddad's office at 219-923-3000 to set up your free initial consultation for your estate planning needs today. Have a 401k to roll over? Are you investing in your future? With financial success as your final destination, let us help you develop your financial strategy. Whether you're changing jobs or retiring, it's important that you make the right decision regarding your 401k. Call Matthew Baker today at 219-838-6176 to set up a free consultation. Matthew Baker Incorporated is located at 2645 Highway Avenue in downtown Highland. Call 219-838-6176 today. Securities offered through Woodbury Financial Services, member FINRA SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Matthew Baker Incorporated and Woodbury Financial Services are not affiliated entities. Attorney Joseph Haddad has been practicing law since 1986. He is located at 2646 Highway Avenue in beautiful downtown Highland. As a former prosecutor, Attorney Joseph Haddad is the person to call if you've been charged with a DUI, felony, or misdemeanor. Attorney Joseph Haddad also will help with estate planning, business and residential leases, formation of corporation, and all types of personal injury cases. Call Attorney Joseph Haddad's office at 219-923-3000 to set up your free initial consultation. Welcome back, everybody. This is Financial Perspectives. We're talking about winners and losers in the election here. Of course, I think everyone, including everyone here at WJOB, has got an election hangover. I'm glad I don't work for any of these big television and reporting stations, because I imagine I would be pretty tired at this point. But anyway, that's what I have here regarding the winners and losers of the election. Maybe, I hope I'm not missing anything. I just was kind of thinking about it this morning and kind of figured out who was going to be kind of coming up on top here, and also who was going to be not coming on top. One other person, I think, or other entity that I think is going to be on top is the Dow Jones Industrial Average this morning. The Dow Jones Industrial Average continues to ascend, up 121 points this morning, and that is about 2/3%. And what a difference a few days makes. So we talked a little bit about government regulation, and the Wall Street Journal is reporting cloud hangs over retirement rule. New retirement rules set to take effect next year now are in jeopardy after Donald Trump's upset presidential election win, leaving Wall Street unsure on how to proceed with implementation. Analysts and industry observers wondered Wednesday if Mr. Trump, who during the campaign called for a temporary moratorium on all new regulations from federal agencies, would follow through on his pledge to halt and dismantle the Department of Labor's fiduciary rule. There's about $3 trillion that would be affected. That's the amount of assets in the United States estimated to be affected by this rule. So it's a big deal. The long-term viability of the regulations is at least once again in play. Excuse me. And I would tend to agree with him. We talked a little bit about that on my show before. And the good news is financial stocks seem to be responding pretty well to that. And bottom line, it's going to remain to be seen how our government regulations are going to change. One of the things that I focus in with my clients is retirement income planning. Every day, articles appear urging people to save for retirement. These articles are so prevalent that it may seem like retirement planning is entirely about getting people to save. Actually, retirement planning concerns much more than that. It has another aspect well worth discussing, the eventual spending of all that money that has been accumulated. Too few Americans coordinate their retirement spending. Earlier this year, Ameriprise asked more than 1,300 savers aged 55 to 75 if they had a drawdown strategy in mind for the future. Nearly 2/3 of the pre-retiree survey did not. A third of the retired respondents to the survey also lacked spending plans. In retirement, inattention to household spending poorly. A spending plan may help retirees guard against this kind of crisis. Another case occurs when a retiree household becomes overconfident in its decently performing portfolio and its middle level of savings. A decade or so in retirement without a spending plan, that households find its investment and bank accounts dwindling mysteriously fast. Sunday brunches give way to $3.99 bacon and egg specials, and those golf club stays in the garage all year. We're going to break here. We got a call coming in, and also if you'd like to chime in, 219-845-1100. Good morning. You're on Financial Perspectives.
Hi, Matt.
Good morning.
Dave German.
Hi,
How
Dave.
you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well.
Good. Couple things I want to hit on, and then I'm going to hang up and listen. One, I just want to thank you publicly for you and Matthew Baker Incorporated for supporting Haven House so much. And I know you don't like praise and public praise and pat on the back. But
You're absolutely right. I really don't.
You're very modest when it comes to that, but I just want people to know how you give back to the community, and you definitely give to Haven House and support Haven House and all the functions around it. So I just really.
I hope we did well. I hope we did well at the event there.
Oh, we did.
Excellent.
Yeah, we did. It's big success. You and your wife Kay just have always supported Haven House, at least as long as I've been there, and I just can't thank you enough. Now, money. I think I'm just going to throw this out there. I think a lot of savings and the lack of savings is a taught behavior. Let's say you're my age and you grew up during the late 60s and early 70s in an affluent family, right? And you really never did get that concept of saving.
Mm-hmm.
Where I grew up, I was a latchkey kid. My mother had a couple jobs, and everything was always tight. So we always coveted and tried to save and skimp and get by on as much as we could. So I just happen to feel, unless you're really outside the box thinking as an individual and self-motivated and have a lot of self-discipline, savings is a behavior that's taught by your parents or your grandparents.
That's absolutely correct.
You know, I am called a tightwad. My girlfriend often says, "Open the vault and blow the dust off it," you know. But I just like to save, and that's what I am. You know, it's the whole security and rainy day fund type thing. Now I'm 53, and you're helping me save, you know, as much as I can over the next 13 years, so I can retire comfortably. Which I thank you, and I have to get in there and. You're just going to have to force me to come in there because it's just a time thing.
Well, I say this on the air often. My biggest competitor is not the financial planner down the block. My biggest competitor is procrastination.
Well, I am. I'll raise my hand and say I'm guilty of that. But it's also time management.
If you don't come in pretty soon, Dave, I'm just going to say, hey, Dave, quit procrastinating. Give me a call.
Just stop in wherever exactly. But that's really my comment to you and my thank you to you. And there's my question. Do you think savings is a tough behavior, and it's never too late to change and start saving? And I just can't emphasize enough of saving and planning. And I thank you for what you do and helping me.
Well, thanks. And I'm going to hang up and answer your question.
Thank you.
And thanks for the call, Dave. Very good question, I may add. I was thinking back when I was 12, and I started my first job, and I would come home with my paper route money, and my mother always seemed to know when I had collected, and you had to collect it. I had a paper route. You had to collect your own bills, and of course you'd get a little bit of what you collected, and I would come home and I would have $30 or $40, and my mother said, "Come on, let's go." I said, "Where are we going?" And she took me to the East Side Bank. And we started our Christmas account, and then it was a personal savings account. And I did that for a number of years. And it was a very, very, parent out there, I'm wondering if you have children, have you done that yet? I think it's a great idea. Teaching kids to save is very, very important, especially when this country shocked. And it's not any accident that, of course, the Chinese economy is a power to be reckoned with today. But back in the day, they were not, and so you would find building your security by saving what you earned. So I think it was very, very important. That they're way ahead of us on that, and I think we're very, very bad savers. Part of any financial strategy is to pay yourself. whether you're 12 years old or you're 80 years old. Even if you're in retirement, you should be continuing to save money, but that means you got to live well within your means, which is kind of what we were talking about here with retiree spending plans. Definitely you want to save money whether you're young or old. And you have to ask yourself, are you doing that? Oftentimes people are living for today and not tomorrow. And part of the motivation that I have for this show is that, we have a retirement crisis going on. Many of our professions that used to pay pensions do not anymore, putting more of the responsibility of retirement planning on the regular person. And I think that it's about time that we start getting this a little bit more serious with that. And now that this generation is retiring, the next generation is going to be without many of them without pension plans, and you have to start creating your own. You have to start saving your own money. And I think it's very important to save money and to teach young people to save money. Maybe I need to talk about that a little bit more, because oftentimes I'm talking about saving for retirement, but basically saving is an action. It's basically, and it's a great way to control your expenses, because if you have X amount of dollars, even if you're a young kid, and you want to save money, I used to save money to go to the Hoosier Theater. Well, I would have that money off to the side, but I couldn't, do it 3 times in a week because it'd be over my budget. So I think it's very, very important to help the young people learn to save money. I'm going to go to a quick commercial. When I get back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how retirees need to have a spending plan. And also, if you want to chime in the show, the number is 219-845-1100. We're also going to come back and we're going to have Women's Financial Corner here in just a moment. We'll be right back after these quick commercials. Don't just invest. Plan to save taxes and grow wealth management at once. Integrated Wealth Management gives you a powerful synergistic way to create and preserve wealth. That's the kind of wealth management I bring to business owners, professionals, and their families. My investment management is tax sensitive, from portfolio construction to mentoring to fund manager selection. Retirement planning and estate planning can help you strategize to protect and keep more of what you earn. Call Matthew Baker, Investment Advisor Representative, at 219-838-6176 for your free financial review. Securities and advisory services offered through Woodbury Financial Services Incorporated, member of FINRA, SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Matthew Baker, Inc. and Woodbury Financial Services are not affiliated entities. Attorney Joseph Haddad has been practicing law since then. As a former prosecutor, Attorney Joseph Haddad is the person to call if you've been charged with a DUI, felony, or misdemeanor. Attorney Joseph Haddad also will help with estate planning, business and residential leases, formation of corporation, and all types of personal injury cases. Call Attorney Joseph Haddad's office at 219-923-3000 to set up your free initial consultation. Welcome back, everybody. This is Financial Perspectives, the region's business and financial news show. If you're listening for the first time, we're here every second and fourth Thursday of every month. Times on how women are at a disadvantage relative to financial planning, and that's why we do it, to educate our customers and, of course, our listeners as to some of the issues relative to financial planning for women. So getting back to our article, retirees should have spending plans. In retirement, inattention to household spending has serious consequences. If you're not paying attention to what you have coming in and you're cashing that nest egg out, you could have some problems. You could have some sort of a financial crisis down the road. Another case occurs when a retiree household becomes overconfident about their assets. And then if things start to dwindle, they're eating the $3.99 specials, and the golf game is going to be going away. A plan for drawing down retirement savings in moderation when retirement starts might help such a couple live its quality of a longer life. There is no standard retirement drawdown strategy. Each retirement household and its retirement planner must arrive at one specific to its savings, investment mix, income requirements, and age. Yeah, one of the things, as a little bit of experience regarding your drawdown strategy, first of all, ask yourself, have you and your financial person talked about your retirement income strategy? It's extremely important. Many financial advisors do not do that. They're talking about this and that. But in the end of the day, you could talk about investments till you're blue in the face. Are your investments going to last for as long as you last? Is basically what you have to come down to. And it gets tricky because after the age of 62, Social Security income grows by 8% a year. So why would you want to take it at 62? Well, everyone's situation is a little bit different. I would not recommend that, nor am I ever going to do that unless I absolutely had to. There are also other investments that are growing at various rates. And sometimes you want to keep those rates of growth going. So, what is your retirement income strategy? Very, very important. If you're sitting here and you don't know what your retirement income strategy is, or you don't know what your financial strategy is, I would invite you to call my office at 219-838-6176 and call me and we'll give you a free financial review. There's no cost or obligation. And I've been doing this for many, many years and definitely going to talk about your retirement income plan and also take a look at what's going on with your portfolio. It does not look like we're going to have our next segment of Women's Financial Corner. So I'm going to go to a previous segment. I hate to be redundant, but we just don't have it here this morning. But here's our one of my favorite segments of Women's Financial Corner. Well, we're still having a little technical difficulties here this morning. And it looks like Tony's going to come here and help me. Tony, maybe we can go ahead and put the Women's Roadmap on part 3. And we've played that a lot of time in some technical difficulties with our current edition this morning. So here we go, folks, another segment of Women's Financial Corner.
Today on Women's Financial Corner, we will be discussing how you can carefully manage your assets so that your retirement savings will last as long as you need them to. First, review your portfolio regularly. Some people transfer their investment portfolio to fixed income investments like bonds or money market accounts. Be aware that you may effectively lose purchasing power if the return on your investments doesn't keep apportioning and wise asset allocation. Thirdly, understand your retirement plan distributions options. Most pensions pay benefits in the form of an annuity. This is a difficult but important decision. If you're married, you generally must choose between a higher retirement benefit that ends when your